And, 30, I'd like to open the Conservation Commission meeting on November 13th. If we could all rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Staff present this evening, Isabel Torcantonis, Mike DeVito, and Christina Bernard. Commission members, myself, Bill Bulens, Jack Bowen, Christine Iris, and Tom Nielsen. And any questions, comments, or concerns to the commission on any items not pertaining to the agenda? Unseen. I guess we will get started then. It is 6:31. And we have Mass Wetlands Protection Act and Bill Work of Wetlands Protection Bylaw Wetlands Hearing, Notice of Intent, continued public hearing for 309 Boston Road. DEP file 109-1581, BBL 1581. And excuse me, the applicant has requested to continue to the December 11th meeting. So moved. Second. Get Jack and Christine. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Administrative minutes. Let's see.
Okay. In light of the fact that we have, a request for an extension and also Marliese is here, okay for me to take things out of order?
Yes, why don't we move her up?
Well, so the extension real quick, the commission was provided with all of what the letter requesting extension of the order of conditions. You may recall this was for a permit that was issued back in 2021 for a GMP facility. At that site, that's the large site that encompasses 300, 298, and 296, and then 294 is off Concord Road. The commission recently just issued a wetlands permit related to 296 Concord Road. Anyhow, the project has not commenced. They stated their reasons why on their cover letter and are seeking a 3-year extension. Under the Wetlands Protection Act, commissions may grant an extension up to 3 years. Under your bylaw, 1 to 3 years as well. So this given in light of the fact that construction hasn't commenced, commission might want to consider 3 years. Todd's here, right?
Todd Greenfield, Gas Partners. Hold on.
I think you're still seeking, is it the financing or the tenant?
Yeah, refinancing, exactly. And we're kind of repositioning it, GMP, just a different name, that's Flex High Bay. Different category, just trying to market it to a larger audience, because the GMP is kind of dried up. There's a lot of them that actually are built on spec today and sitting vacant, so. Yeah, just changing our marketing strategy and, working through the banks.
So on behalf of the commission, just a reminder, your permit requires that if there's any changes to the project design, those need to be presented to the commission. They need to be notified to determine whether those changes impact wetland resources or any additional permitting may be required.
Yeah, it's just a different
Got it.
category. There's no change to the building, a low footprint.
So nothing in the lot, the land, the building location, nothing, just a name change.
That's exactly right. Listening to the market, that's what the brokers are suggesting, so that's what they go after.
Okay, then we would make a motion for DEP file number 109-1450, BBL 1450, 300 Concord Road, to extend that order of conditions for 3 years. Second. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Sorry. And then, oops, my list is here, so we could bump that up on the agenda out of order.
Thank you. I'm glad I came early. Good evening. I'm reading from a paper, so I don't forget to say anything and I say it in a brief manner. My name is Monique Henderson. I'm on the agenda for reappointment. I would like to be reappointed to the, wait for it, it's a long name. Sudbury Asset and Concord Partnership Wild and Scenic Rivers Stewardship Council. I'll refer to it as River Stewardship Council. For another 3-year term. My previous term expired October 29, 2021. And I currently serve as the council chair. The National Wild and Scenic Rivers Act of 1968, I was 8 at the time, established a policy of protecting rivers and their environments. Congress passed this act towards the end of the modern dam building era. It was intended to balance the construction of new dams with the protection of select free-flowing rivers that possess nationally significant values. So rivers can be designated as wild and scenic if they have outstanding values for preservation, so that could be scenic, recreational, geologic, fish and wildlife, historic, cultural, even for us Concord, literary. So because Thoreau was on the rivers, that was considered an ORV, outstandingly remarkable value. All these acronyms are from the National Park Service. The Suasco River Stewardship Council was established in 1999. They had to jump to a lot of hoops before they got that designation, the federal designation. It is a partnership of the 8 municipalities in the wild and scenic section. So a section of the river from the Route 3 river up, you go by Carlisle, Bedford, Concord. The Assabet stays to West Concord, Sudbury goes Lincoln, Sudbury, Wayland, Framingham. That's the 8 communities, and they each have a representative. Other partners are boards. Oftentimes boards and River Stewardship Council are being mixed up. But we're partners. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which sometimes we would have a representative from DER or DEP. Currently, the seat is empty. The Sudbury Valley Trustees, which is represented, the US Fish and Wildlife Service, so that's Great Meadows. And the National Park Service. The National Park Service provides us with an administrative person that is paid and on board. In the United States are 18 of these wild and scenic rivers, so it's kind of special that we're in one of them. Each receives federal funding and it gets divided equally, it's like $300,000 every year per wild and scenic river area, no matter how long it is. I have said, oh, I don't get so much money because it's relatively short. But they said, well, it's in an area where you spend a lot of money if you want to get something done. So we weren't supposed to talk about it. But use the dollars to raise awareness of the rivers in all kinds of different ways, River Fest, but also grants. And we have to be mindful of the ORVs that earned the designation in the first place. A portion of the funds is used as community grants, which well, let me just keep reading. You first appointed me in 2017 for 3 years, you being the Conservation Commission. In 2020, COVID, everything was forgotten, including my, I forgot to get reappointed. So in 2021, I was reappointed, but that's already 3 years ago. We meet monthly. I don't intend to miss a beat. Most votes relate to grant funding, putting out the grant, getting requests, and then deciding how best to divide the money. by the way, when there was a vote for the River Stewardship Council to take position on dam removal in Billerica, I abstained. Because I felt I'm appointed by the Conservation Commission, I kind of know where to stand, so I did not take part in the vote. But River Stewardship Council is clearly in favor of restoring the river. And personally, I'll take that stand too, but as a River Stewardship Council member, I don't feel comfortable doing that. With regards to my qualifications, I am MACC certified commissioner, thanks to my time on the commission. NAI, that's Interpretive National Association of Interpretation, guide certified, and ACA paddle sport safety certified with several river related contributions to the Thorough Society Bulletin, for which I got the River Steward Award in 2018. And 10 years of experience guiding walks and paddles along the Aspet and Sudbury and Concord rivers. So that's, I don't think, I mean, if you have questions, I can talk more, but I would like to be reappointed so I can be chair, knowing that I'm truly appointed.
Jack, any questions? Yeah, just a couple. Been on here since 2017, Rose?
Before that, I think it was Betsy,
Mhm.
and I think Ralph Bacon, who I never met, but he was very big in water quality testing, so I see his name pop up. I wish I would.
Says, I'm looking at the Conservation Commission Committee appointee policy here. Says keeping the commission informed of the time and place of upcoming meetings. You do that?
The meetings are, the agendas and minutes are on the website. They're every month on the last Tuesday. And there's an annual report, which I just handed out every year since I was on. I've done it since 2018.
Would you mind just sending us a copy of them, just going to the website, so I'm not searching all over, just so we have
Oh.
monthly, whatever.
So I'll send.
I think you've done it before, once before.
Yeah, when
or
we-
a couple times.
When we sent the grant opportunity, I think it automatically goes to everybody, or goes at least to you, so then we don't get spam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, it says solicit the input of the commission on topics being discussed or deliberated.
yeah, I've signed
input
that
from us?
policy in the past, but to be frank, it's kind of an impossibility, because we do votes all the time, and then I'd have to take a lot of your time, which I know maybe tonight is a slow evening, but you're usually up to here. And I've found, okay, so I can sign something that I don't agree with, then I'm a hypocrite. So I'd rather say that I don't want to sign it. So I don't really want to make a big deal of it, but I have a difficulty signing something that I don't agree with. I also think that the policy has stopped other people from becoming an alternate appointee. And I think it's important that we get alternates on that.
I don't think that's what I asked you. It says,
Okay. Well,
solicit
we will
the
talk-
input of the commission on topics being discussed or deliberated. I don't recall you coming to us and saying, this is going to be discussed next week,
Correct.
what's the feeling of the commission?
Correct. And that's what I'm opposed to, because you don't go to the select board to discuss in advance what you're going to be discussing. The select board appoints you, and you judge based on the Wetland Protection Act. And then you select me, and then I judge based on the federal
Criteria.
Wild and Scenic Rivers Act. So that's what I was saying, the policy has a, in my eyes, a flaw, and I can sign it, and because you can't really forecast what you're gonna be talking about. I can share, you can share an agenda, and the select board can see your agenda, And you can see my agenda, but what is exactly going to be talked about is not predictable. Plus, a select board member was kind enough to run it by town council, and town council also felt that it was not a realistic policy to sign. So I'd rather
The,
point out, not to say that you are wrong, but to say you can do better.
Yeah, that's what I got from reading the report from the town council is that it's either a right or a wrong or a yes or a no. That was ambiguous, so
Well, he thought it was ambiguous, but I am not a subcommittee from the Conservation Commission. I'm actually one of the innocent committees that could not be put under that policy. So I'm falling under the no.
in your mind. And by
In my
that's all
mind,
another yes.
yeah.
So it's
Well, I'm,
splitting hairs here.
it points it out that I'm one of the, he calls it innocent. The Conservation Commission has no legal authority to disrupt the proceedings of other non-conservation commission committees.
I wasn't
The
asking to
Stewardship
disrupt them, I was
Council
asking
is
to
not-
be informed.
Excuse me?
I wasn't asking to disrupt them, I was asking to be informed of what's going on.
To ask to be informed. The question itself is disrupting, because then I go to this meeting. Where I kind of can't speak because I haven't discussed it with you. I ought to be able to be my own person. And I think town council understands that.
I want you to be your own person, I'm not
Yeah.
questioning that. What I'm questioning is, if you know something, say January, you have a meeting coming up in January, and something is gonna pertain that what Conservation Commission should be aware of.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be, you know,
If,
nice of you
if
to
that
come
were
to
the
us and
case,
say,
if that
this
were
is
the
not-
case, but it's not happening. It's about grants and funding people who have applied for grant funding. I don't have to go to the Billerica Conservation to see if Audubon can teach kids in Framingham.
It's probably more, I think the policy, which by the way was drafted with the assistance of Copeland and Page, so town council was. Edited and actually prepared this for the
Yeah.
commission, but I think the intent is probably, from what I recall at that time, it was really to keep the commission, the town apprised of. Any big decisions, and you just said it, the dam discussion,
I would say,
you abstained. I think it's more related to high level or anything pertaining specifically to Billerica, maybe that may be coming up. And just for a suggestion, you can do that by email. Send me an email, I can forward it to the commission, that's all,
yeah,
right?
So-
Is that what you're?
with conservation, I already know it, so. About the dam,
But I think that's the intent of the policy, was just to clarify, to keep the town apprised of,
yeah, I think
things
I-
involving Billerica.
I read. I read it and I take everything literally, so, I have a hard time with it, and I know I'm not the only one. I think it's important that, volunteers are willing to volunteer their time for this, because we've gotten money out of this. The interpretive signs for Katie Durant Park were funded by
We
the
applied for
Stewardship
it.
Council, and it's easy money. $2,600. There was the boat trailer that the recreation department did. Never has it been that money was asked and you didn't get it. I just have to get people to ask for money. That's the hardest part. And if there were something where I thought conservation or Bill Rick, town manager, should know about this, whether it's DPW, water treatment plant, those stormwater management, DPW. I worked with, Christine Papadopoulos. So I'm clearly represent the town. You appoint me, but I represent the whole town, and I want good for the town, and I speak up at these meetings that not all the money just goes to Concord and Lincoln and now I want it for Billerica, so, yeah.
Lastly, at least personally, I'm going to vote to reappoint you, but I would like you also to understand that I'd like to be kept more in the loop of what's going on.
I can,
Send right to
Send
the
the
commission, just send it to the
agendas?
commission, it can be put on the agenda of what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah, just an email, and when it comes here, it'll go on the agenda and be read, and just to know what might be coming up.
yeah,
Or
it's
if
always
it's something that
funded.
came out of the clear blue.
Yeah.
That did come up,
Yeah.
then we should know about.
There is one thing that I was thinking I was just gonna go to Isabel, but if I have the floor, I will definitely say it now.
know there's a
If
bunch of
you're
people
familiar
behind.
with Great Meadows parking lot by Riverview Restaurant across the bridge, there's Great Meadows. That parking lot was built somewhere between 2006, 2010. And with signage and post and rail fence, well, that's all rotting now. And it's a little wobbly. And when the grants came out, I contacted Great Meadows, Stephanie Koch, I think. Koch, I don't know how you pronounce it. Stephanie connected me with two other people. Everybody at Great Meadows has no time, and I was like, Emma, now I don't have, the deadline is gone. No worries. I'm working with the ambassador, Elisa Brown, and Stephanie Koch set up a meeting, a team Zoom meeting. I'm thinking it's gonna be December 11, and I hope maybe you can attend. We would discuss that it's going to be a partnership with the Assabet Wildlands and Water. It's Friends of Assabet Wildlands and Water. They are friends of Great Meadows. So they would be part of it. Volunteers in Billerica. I would ask DPW. And then lumber can be paid for with River Stewardship Council. So we would have enough people to, and SISMA, because it's all bittersweet and glossy buckthorn. So we have a project where volunteers take care of the overgrowth. And then DPW would guard it out, take the out old
Your post and rail.
post rail out,
So you're looking to replace it
yeah.
and.
And then that maybe DPW does the grading. And it's kind of a steep path down, so I'm hoping to get everything out of it I can, that it's gonna be steps instead of this little steep,
So that would be considered like a trail maintenance that, you guys can, review, more informally, because it's trail maintenance.
yeah, I think it's away from it's luckily high.
Oh, okay,
high up.
sorry, I thought it
Yeah,
was closer.
It's not near, then once you're down, we don't have to do anything anymore, but there's still some boardwalks and. It just, see, I just look around, like, where can we spend this money?
That would
Because
be good. over-
I don't want it to go all to Concord and Lincoln, and I'm hoping to be able to spend it here.
I'm all set.
Thank you. Continue to ask any questions.
I'm just curious, so you are reappointed starting from 2021 for 3 more years?
Yeah.
2024,
I started 2017, and I've been going ever since.
so you have extension till 2027?
No, she's
what-
she's asking
Yeah.
for
Oh,
your.
right now, okay.
That's what she's asking for now.
10/29, 2024, okay.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I have no questions.
I have no questions.
Okay, Tom,
I'm all set.
I don't, but back to this, you're not comfortable with the policy as such asking you to sign,
Yeah, I see,
because
yeah, but I will. So,
I.
Yeah.
I know if you're not comfortable, I can understand that, say, but it's really just what you have just done to us, for us, is to give us an explanation of what's coming up.
yeah,
And I know
yeah,
planning ahead in big groups like this don't work, but if there's anything ahead that you know of to make us aware of earlier, as
Yeah.
opposed to later,
I
and then
could,
if something that's coming up,
I could-
even in an email to
Yeah.
Isabel, and then she can, distribute it to us.
I can definitely distribute the agenda. So Isabel knows and can see, okay, nothing pertaining to the river conservation, but,
I think that, yeah, the dam, the discussion about the dam, what, what we did, and then the upcoming, opportunity to work with, on the Great Meadows project, the project.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I think that's what they need.
Katie Park, I worked with that with Christine Papadopoulos for the interpretation, for the panels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you also in the planning board
Yeah.
commissioner?
Pardon?
Commissioner, right? Planning board commissioner
Planning board member, secretary.
member. So is it okay to serve in two boards?
Oh,
Okay.
unfortunately. Open space.
Yeah.
committee,
So,
planning
it-
that's why. No, it's just, I
Yeah.
wanted to serve for other one, that's for myself, not, I'm not speaking with anyone.
There,
Okay.
there are a few boards that you cannot do both. You cannot do planning board and conservation,
Right,
and another one.
And the
CEA,
planning, the planning board is
Or,
our elected.
Board of Health. Board
So you
of,
can't make,
or elected.
okay.
But in this case, the RSC is, kind of, so Marley's serving as like a liaison. So Jack serves on the Open Space Recreation Committee as a liaison to the commission. Same with Marley's, and Marley's has done other stuff too, but like PAC
Yeah.
committee before,
and the liaison for the open space for the planning board.
CPC.
NIMCOG.
uh,
So you see, I'm not on anymore.
No, but I mean in general, so,
Yeah.
Okay, okay, thanks for the clarification.
Okay. So, no more questions?
Just one more, is any other board that you're on require a signature?
No, and also
About
on the
planning
River
board.
Stewardship Council, no, everybody's baffled
About
about,
the planning board, they don't have any
no,
requirements?
no, no.
But
And-
just for the record, just to remind, that this was pulled from another community. At that time, back in 2017 or 2016, I can't remember, as a draft, and that was the working template
Yeah.
that then town council worked on with the commission to implement. So
Yeah.
there are other communities with the policy, maybe not on
It's just, I've,
RSC.
I've never seen it, the River Stewardship Council hasn't seen it, you had a question about how do other communities do these appointments? It's not, in the River Stewardship Council, regulations, it always goes by however the municipalities do their appointments. It's about 50-50 conservation, select board. And, the only term I've seen is 3 years. It's 3 years or forever, so, a lot of them have served on it much longer than I have.
And you started off as a member, but you're actually the chair now
Yeah,
of the RSC.
unfortunately.
See what happens when you do a good job? Okay, in that case,
Let's make a motion that we appoint Molly Simpson, our representative to the.
River Stewardship.
River Stewardship Council.
Stewardship. I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'll try to keep you
Thank you.
informed. I have to admit that I know how busy you always are, and I'm saying,
Yeah, and I don't think it requires like attendance. You do a lot of night meetings of your own
Yes.
between the extra stuff too. I think.
Yeah.
It sounds like the commission like is totally okay with that email type format.
Yes.
You want to give an update, you know, a couple twice a year or anything big is coming up that you think will involve. the
Yeah.
commission. That's all.
Anytime you wanna stop by and say hello,
Yeah.
in your spare time.
Yeah.
Does all the time.
Thank
What's
you.
that?
And if you have any, extra ones, I think downstairs, we may be low.
Yeah, I'll bring some flyers.
Okay,
Yeah.
get your hands on, you know, extra boxes
Yeah.
that might be there.
Yeah.
Handful. Thank you.
I have a box at home that I'd like to get rid of, so.
We're happy to keep putting them out.
Bay Circuit and the rivers.
Yeah, drop them off.
Okay, thank you.
Good night.
Guys, have a good night.
Good night.
You
See
too.
guys. Bye-bye. Right, Linda. Okay, so if you guys want, we can go back to we'll go back to formal business. And,
Yes.
It is.
the,
Not soon.
Oh, no,
Yes.
the request for, cer-
You got the hijack.
okay, so the administrative matters director's report, first, the request for certificates of compliance, we'll start off with DEP file number 1091455. Rico Lad Valley, the commission may recall this was for a garage addition, sunroom. They are, this required restoration of inner buffer zone and a visual barrier monitoring. Mike's been out to the site a couple of times. And they've revised the as-built plan and addressed the outstanding items in the field. So they've submitted all the requirements under the RCOC.
The motion on that, or to? See. Request certificate of compliance as built for the DEP file number 1091455 BL 1455 Dry Valley Drive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that was to issue a certificate of compliance
Yes.
for the project. So that was Jack Bowen and Christine. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is DEP file number 1091422, BBL 1422. Commission may recall, this was an order of conditions issued for the prior owner who wanted to build a dock. And also at that time, it was discovered that there was some unauthorized clearing of inner riparian zone and inner buffer zone. And there's some corrective action items that were required under the permit as well. The applicant submitted a request indicating on the cover letter, the dock has never been, never constructed. He has no desire to construct the dock as the new homeowner. But he did complete all the restoration in plantings and visual barrier that were required under the order. And we've been out there a couple times to inspect, and he's basically submitted all the required items under the RCOC.
Is the dock still on the plan?
But he added a note on the proposed, so he didn't do the project, so
Right, but it's still on the as-built.
there was no formal as-built submitted, he used the proposed plan to mark up and be marked up to, showing the corrective action that was done. It was essentially a bunch of plantings and a visual barrier.
And then a note that the dock was not.
Exactly, for the record.
So you're looking for a motion to,
Issue the certificate of compliance, which will remove the encumbrance from the property title.
make a motion to, issue a certificate of compliance for, BEP file number 1091442, BL 1422, 133 Providence Street.
Second one, motion. All in favor? Aye.
Great, thanks, Jack and Tom. Next on the agenda, DEP file number 1091202, BBL 1202. This is a request for certificate of compliance for 24 Marshbrook Road. This was project approving septic system replacement and upgrade to a few prior homeowners. Substantial restoration was completed, and a visual barrier was installed, post and rail fence with placards. In transition from one homeowner to another, there was some impacts to the inner buffer zone that had been restored, and removal of the visual barrier. This property owner has addressed all the items that were required for correction, revised as-built, plantings, stabilization, and the visual barrier.
Comfortable with it?
They're in good standing.
I'll make a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for DEP file number 109-1202, BBL 1202, 24 Marshall Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you, Jack and Christina. Request to continue the order or to extend the orders. The commission already discussed that. River Stewardship Council has been addressed. Next on the agenda is the request for administrative review and approval. 1 Eastwood Avenue. The commission, I forwarded you an email, but there's also information in front of you regarding 1 Eastwood. The property owner has a series of three stone / retaining walls on the property that she would like to repair and replace. The closest one is within, I don't know, 20 to 25, within 20 feet of BBW in the river. You can see this property from River Street, the bridge over the Concord River. It's a beautiful lot. But it's sloped.
The last picture, that's the wall that's down.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I took some photos, prepared a document for you to just get a sense if you didn't have time to kind of drive by there. There's also a, marked up highlighted plan, just showing roughly, generally where on the property those retaining walls might be. The homeowner did have a survey done back in 2012, but it was for the purposes of really identifying, the property lines. It's not a topographic survey, and doesn't show other features on the property, but as you know, on the cover letter, the property owner indicates there's a pool, again, the retaining walls, and a dock that was all there before they bought the property. So there is a vegetated inner buffer zone. It's generally stabilized. So this time it's really to ask the commission, because it's located so close to the river, it's not something that we could administratively approve. We did receive clarification that it does require a degree of heavy equipment. I think the intent is, since they're gonna be, doing this effort and spending money to replace and or repair those walls, they wanna do it right, and it requires some gravel trench on one side of these stone / retaining walls. So there'll be some excavation and so forth.
It sounded like that they were actually gonna take the wall down and rebuild
And
it. Put a stone base under it and then rebuild the whole
Yes.
wall.
yeah,
That's a
so
lot of work.
How close is the,
the closest wall,
yeah,
it's within 20, it's almost like 20 feet, or, it ranges
yeah,
maybe 15 to 20 feet.
So then would have to issue it, or they would have to
Apply for a wetlands application.
the whole NOI or not.
So the RDA is a request for determination of applicability. Applicants still need to notify abutters within 300 feet, same as an NOI, same as an RDA. The hope was that she could use the existing survey that you have in front of you dated 2012. And have that marked up if she needs to do a formal wetlands application, which is essentially that's kind of required under the regulations because of the location. Maybe she could do a wetlands delineation and have a scientist mark up that plan with information, maybe measurements taken in the field. In light of what's being proposed, or add more information to the survey plan, topo, the location of the retaining walls, and such. And she was hoping for a more simplified option.
It just looks like it's a lot of work with down on the river. Requiring,
Yeah, I didn't realize
Requiring
that was a
heavy-
whole rebuild of that first.
well, I mean, in what I was reading, that was suggested by the contractors is to take the wall apart, put in a stone base under it, and then use the same rock and rebuild. Now you get equipment down there and you're virtually in the water.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work to try to get it done, but to do it afterwards.
Without a formal permit.
Yes, it is. I know on permit is a lot of work and expense. But that's a lot of work. So,
I understand.
I think it requires. And also say, heavy equipment, you know, move that rock wall, put a stone base under it, reset it. And during the vegetable wetland banking. I would say that we'd have to have a wetland unit first.
Any thoughts, Christine,
I agree on that.
Tom?
I agree that it's so close that we need a wetland.
Okay, we can update the owner and certainly work with her and give her whatever guidance and resources, at least, offer her direction and so forth.
Yeah. You were out there, Mike, you did the pictures. This area of the, is that relatively flat and steepness is right here. So, so there's a possibility that he'd be able to dig and work from the high side, not have to get all the way down. But it's still,
It's a tricky slope, it's like.
yeah, it's still a slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the yard kind of goes like,
It's
start
terrible.
off, yeah, it's like
Right, yeah,
terrace.
there's a level where the house is.
Yeah, level there,
Then
then
it's a level here,
level there, and then
and then
it
it
slopes.
drops to the river.
Yeah, there's BVWs, that's probably the closest point where the work is gonna be is in this area, right?
Here.
She wants, this is kind of her problem area
Oh.
in there.
Yeah.
And probably from there to the BVW is probably like 20-25 feet. And then it goes into the river.
Yeah.
It's like a shelf.
Big enough area, Mike, that they should put mats down to bring in the equipment. What's up with equipment?
We really need to discuss that with the contractor, the access, that's what would need to be presented to you as part of the application.
So what we would need to say is it's gonna have to file a wetlands permit.
Okay,
Yeah. Does it look like they can put some equipment in there?
we already kind of had reviewed that
The map.
possibility and why, generally repairing or just a stone wall. Anything that's,
Yeah,
50
this is
feet,
more than
50,
repairing.
and then it's less than 50 feet.
Yeah.
There's certain minor exemptions, but this is more than just repairing and replacing the stone. Okay, so, then motion that a wetlands permit is required.
Want that, Christine? No.
Second,
I'm gonna make it first.
That's one you made.
Let's make a motion that we require one Eastwood Avenue, a required wetland permit. To do the above work that they've mentioned.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have a number of minutes that need to be approved. I did receive just minor edits, grammatical edits from Diane serves as your secretary. Thank you to Christine and Diane and Joanne, who also provided some edits. Bill, and you provided some too, but if you could one by one, go through these one by one and approve them.
You have to inform me.
No, you can probably, so I can state it right now. Actually, they do have to vote to approve each one.
That was put them together as a block and vote on.
I mean, if you're gonna approve them all with just mine, right, I don't see why you can't say minutes for 125, 222, 110, and say them all.
I think you can put them as a block, as long as, yeah.
As long as you say each one individually.
So you're, okay, so then what if someone will read them out?
Uh, For motion to accept the minutes for January 25th, 2023, February 22nd, 2023, May 10th, 2023, May 24th, 2023, June 14th, 2023, June 28th, 2023, July 19th, 2023. Huh?
Do that as a block, I approve.
Okay, well, that group is it.
Motion that we accept the previous minutes, conservation committee.
Second motion.
Sorry.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next line will be the same thing.
Okay. And motion to accept the minutes for August 16, 2023. September 13th, 2023, October 11th, 2023, November 15th, 2023, December 13th, 2023, January 1st, January 10th, 2024, January 24th, 2024, and February 14th, 2024.
A motion that we accept the previous minutes as stated.
Second. Jack and Christine. And the last group, April meetings of April 10th, 2024, April 24th, 2024, June 12th, 2024, June 24th, 2024, July 15th, 2024, and August 9th, 2024.
September.
Oh, excuse me, September 9th, 2024, and September 23rd, 2024.
Make a motion that we accept the previous minutes as read, as stated.
Second that motion. And Tom, all in favor?
Aye. Okay, just to.
That's all I'm reading, though.
Just to recap, there were three blocks, block number one, we are specific, that goes through January 25th, 2023, all the way through, as listed on the agenda,
7/19.
July 19, 2023. Who made the motion?
Jack.
Jack
Tom.
and Tom, okay. Block number two included, the items listed on the agenda, which included between August 16 through February 14, 2024,
Correct,
and that was Jack
and Christine.
Bowen and Christine. And then block three, as listed on the agenda, ran from the April 10th, 2024 through September 23rd, 2024. And that was Jack Bowen and Tom Nelson.
Yes, correct.
Okay, fantastic, thank you.
Make another motion.
So there's a signature form that Christina is circulating to the members for signature, that's your request to extend the order, and I have no further updates.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
7:20. Hey, Mike.
Get out here, Mike.